we're gonna have a chat. I just spilled some. I wasn't actually in the mood to do any filming or anything, hence the lack of makeup, hence why my skin is completely breaking out over the stress of everything. But I thought it's time to have a little chat. One thing I want to quickly mention in this video before it starts is that us StudyTubers have joined together and created the StudyTube project for all of us students who are out here with schools closed, with university exams up in the air. We've created this platform with new videos coming at you daily at 6 PM to teach you something new. So go and check out that channel to subscribe if you want to get daily doses of inspiration and something new to learn. We're also doing lots of things over on Instagram, including live streams, competitions and other fun things. So head over there and give us a follow if you want to be involved. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Grab your drink of choice, mine is tea, because we are going to have a chat about what is going on with university exams next term. So for those of you who are new, just clicking on this video because we got nothing better to do than spend all day on YouTube at the moment. I'm Viola, I'm a 4th and final year student at Oxford studying classics. So things have just been really crazy and really surreal. And I think everyone can say the same thing because we're all in the same boat and this virus has just taken over the whole world and everything's changed so quickly. It's just, how? So let me give you a quick rundown on what my university has been doing, what they've told us, what's kind of been going on with me, and then you can share your own experiences in the comments below and we can all take comfort in the fact that we're not alone. We are in this together. Woo! Our term at Oxford ended on Saturday the 14th of March, so a week ago now. And before term ended, we already had a few confirmed cases of COVID-19 at the university, and I think it started off with 2 students were diagnosed with it, and then 3, and then 4, and it kind of kept going up. And in the last week of term, we didn't really get any communication from university and we just didn't know what was going on because no one was really saying anything, and the only kind of thing that was happening was that in the last week of term the classics faculty just ended up cancelling a lot of their events. But other than that, during term time we didn't really get any information. I think individual colleges sent out information, so our college did send out information about COVID-19, but nothing from the university or from departments. So term ended on Saturday. College emailed us, so I'm from New College, college emailed us on Thursday telling us about COVID-19 and about how the government had changed from the containment phase to the delay phase, and it was just information about that. We also on the Thursday got an email from the librarian saying that they had increased our allowance of books. I don't even know what the allowance was before that, but they increased our allowance to 50 books. So each of us in college could take out 50 books. What? So that obviously kind of gave us the impression that we might not be coming back next term, because why would we need 50 books? On the Friday we got another email from college saying that they advise all UK domestic students to go home as soon as possible if they can go home, unless you have a compelling reason to stay. And then we got an email on the Friday as well from university finally telling us the situation, telling us that they had 6 confirmed cases, and they again reiterated the advice for UK undergraduate domestic students to go home as soon as possible if they could, unless they had a compelling reason to stay or if they physically couldn't go home. We then got a second email from university that same day on the Friday, but this time from the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Education, and he pretty much said in his email that we should expect to come back next term and everything should be, you know, the teaching and the assessments should go ahead as we expect them to. next term. So things, you know, this was what we got from uni when term ended, and this was, bear in mind, just a week ago. But things have rapidly changed so quickly. Even in the space of 24 hours, things have changed so fast. I wasn't planning on going home for the Easter holidays. So at Oxford we get 6 weeks for Easter, and then we have a full summer term. So unlike other universities, we still have teaching. Lots of finalists still have teaching. Every other year group has a full term of teaching. We don't have, you know, just 4 weeks or whatever. We have a full 8-week taught term. So that's also something that's different from other universities in the UK. I had to stay in Oxford at least for a week and a half after term ended to get my thesis done. And although my thesis deadline isn't until the beginning of next term, it's not actually one of my 8 papers, it's an optional thesis, so I didn't want it to get in the way of the revision that I have to do for my final exams. So I wanted to get it finished and submitted a week and a half after term ended, which would then give me enough time to revise for my finals papers. Are we going to have these finals papers? And then in general, I planned on staying for the majority of the Easter holidays because I wanted to use the libraries, I wanted to get my revision done, I wanted to be in the zone, as I'm sure a lot of other finalists had planned on doing. But rapid developments again. So term ended on the Saturday, I was staying in Oxford. And then on Monday, we got another updated email from the university explaining the situation. They, you know, prior to their email saying expect to come back as normal next term, they sent us an email saying that they expect most, if not all, teaching and assessment to be done online and remotely. Obviously, we were all so panicked when we saw that email because that was them saying that they expect our exams to be conducted online. And just to say this before, because some people might not know this, but especially for humanities degrees at Oxford and Cambridge, 100% of our degree is in our final year, and a large percentage of the science exams are in their final year as well. So other university students have said just grade me on my previous exam marks and coursework, etc. That's not really the same for Oxford. It's a very kind of different and more difficult situation because the nature of their degrees means that it's really hard because we are examined just on our final year. So that's another difficulty. So as soon as we got that email, all the finalists got incredibly stressed out and worried. I definitely did. I mean, I saw that and I just thought, what is going on? It was all kind of really worrying. This was very much anxiety inducing because we just all thought, what is going on? What is happening? How can they put our exams online? Because I just don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how they can make it fair. We have not been expecting or preparing for some weird, unusual online exam that we're not used to and we have to adapt to and adjust to. So it's all kind of really strange, and I just don't know how they're gonna do it. But anyway, I tried to focus on my thesis at that point. So on Tuesday, I went to the Classics Library and I went to work on my thesis. And then at 1:30 p.m. we get an email saying that all of the university libraries were closing at 5 p.m. All of the uni libraries were closing in 3.5 hours, right? I mean, that is absolutely crazy. It just shows how important and how severe this virus was because they were closing the freaking libraries. Instead of doing work, as soon as I got that email, I had to rush around the library taking pictures of all the articles that are really useful for my thesis and that I can't physically take out of the library because they're confined books. It felt like uni was shutting down. I feel like everyone has had this kind of experience. It just feels like the world is just shutting down. So I, at this point, was kind of, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should stay in Oxford or if I should come back home. But anyway, on the Tuesday evening, I saw a friend who's also a student and a finalist at Oxford for dinner. It both really hit us that this was the end to our 4 years at Oxford, and it just ended so abruptly, and it was just so sad that it had to end like this. So I've actually been really upset and really sad recently. And yeah, it's just, when term ended, I think because term at Oxford ended so much sooner than other universities as well, term ended so abruptly, and we were kind of under the impression that we would come back next term and that it would be a normal term. But then literally a couple of days after everyone had left Oxford, we were told that we're not going to be coming back next term, or at least that everything would be moving online. So, you know, I don't know when I'm going to see people again. I don't know if I'm going to see some people again. It's really sad. I didn't expect that I would end my Oxford experience like this, and it is genuinely heartbreaking for me, for many other finalists around the UK. All the finalists who, we don't know if we're going to get a graduation, we don't know what's happening. It's our final year at university and we don't know what, you know, we can't have our proper celebrations. And it's exactly the same as with the schools closing in the UK, with year 11s and year 13s just having school close and not being able to sit their exams, which is also devastating, and also not being able to have things like their prom and celebrating with their friends that they finished school. It's the same with the university students, and it's just so heartbreaking for this to happen to all of us. We just kind of sat there having dinner talking about all the things that we can't do anymore. And there were so many things that I wanted to do in Oxford before I left and before I finished being a student. There were so many libraries that I wanted to work in before I left, and don't think I can do that anymore. I probably won't go to another formal as a student again. I won't go to a summer ball. I won't get trashed for my exams. I won't be able to enjoy Oxford post-exams in the sun. And I say I, but I mean we collectively, because everyone is in the same position, you know. Every single university student in their final year is having the exact same thoughts and feelings, which is something that I think I can take comfort in, knowing that I'm not alone, and that, you know, while it can seem selfish because there are so many other heartbreaking things happening around the world right now, like people being affected by COVID-19 directly, by people who've had family members that they've lost to the virus, of course, you know, those are way more important things. But it still doesn't mean that we're not allowed to be sad about these things either, and it's totally okay for us to be. And I was definitely very upset and stressed and worried about what was going on with finals exams, and I couldn't focus for a good week since term ended. And I'm sure I'm not the only student, you know. I don't even know how to revise, because what am I revising for? We don't know what these exams would entail. We don't know the form these exams will take. We don't know, you know, what the circumstances are of these exams, what, you know, what's the layout, how will we be examined, like how, like I just don't see how it's going to work. With all these rumours about lockdown and everything, I decided to go home, and I'm glad I did, because I can say that as soon as I came back I felt so much more relaxed, and the stress and pressure was definitely alleviated because I at least knew I was at home and I was with my family. But yeah, I mean, there's still obviously the stress that I've had about exams, as I'm sure every other student has had. For me, 100% of my degree grade is on these final exams, so it is very important. And I do appreciate that it is such a difficult situation for the university to be in, to have to make these decisions in these extraordinary and unprecedented circumstances, in this literal global crisis. Like, I understand how difficult it is, but I do definitely think that the uncertainty it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety in students, myself included. And the longer we are not told about what's happening, or the longer a decision isn't made, it means the less time we have to adapt and adjust and prepare for these new online exams, whatever shape or form they take. And then it also means that our anxiety about the uncertainty is prolonged as well. But equally, I understand that the university has to make a good decision and one that is fair for all, but undoubtedly there are students like myself who are just really stressed out by the whole situation. So yeah, if you are also a university student, let me know what you think about these online exams. Let me know what your university is doing, you know, what uni do you go to, what course do you study, what are your uni exams going to be like next term. We got an email from Oxford actually on Friday, our latest email from them, saying they confirm that our exams next term will be online, and they said that it's likely to be open book and we submit them online. Now, I personally just don't really know how that's going to work, and I don't think there's any way to make it fair for people, to make it completely fair for people. And if it's open book, that's going to make it harder to get the higher grades, surely, because everyone will have access to their notes. And you know, how is it even going to work? There are so many people I know who have really dodgy internet connections, people I know who have, you know, there are so many people, I'm sure, who are being affected by the virus directly, who have caring responsibilities, or have to go out and get a job to support their families, or have other issues to deal with on top of the global crisis and the global pandemic stress, on top of the stress of having these final exams in a weird and unusual format. So there are so many different factors, and I just can't see it working for everyone. You know, there can't be a one-fits-all solution, and I don't know. And to me, and I'm sure the same with other students, it does not feel real that we have exams. And I think it's just hard to motivate yourself for an exam that you don't know about. You don't know what the exam is going to be like. You don't know how you're going to be examined, so how can you really prepare for it? I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. It's kind of hard to motivate myself when I don't know what's coming and when there is such uncertainty. That's kind of like an update with me and about university exams and this transition to having exams online, because I really don't want that, and it's not how I expected to end my 4-year degree. I didn't expect to finish my Oxford degree by doing some strange online exams, and I just don't know how it's going to work out. It's also subject dependent, so yeah, let me know what your uni's doing. Let me know your thoughts on this whole process. I think the one comfort you can take in this is that everyone is literally in the same boats. Everyone across the entire world is being affected by this virus in some way, so we're not alone. And you know, academics aren't the be all and end all. It is important to put your own health and your family's health first, but I also think that these kind of worries are also valid and we're allowed to have them. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you want to see any specific self-isolation videos, because I don't have as much time as other people because I have these final exams to revise for, but I am happy to do revise with me's or study with me videos, or like productivity videos, to help you guys as well as help myself get back into some kind of routine during this really weird, surreal time. So yeah, bye guys.